let's transition and let's go to Colorado for the Battle of Colorado that took place Saturday night in Colorado. Colorado beat Colorado State 43-35. It went to double overtime. Colorado trailed by 8 at one point in the fourth quarter. For Colorado State, Fowler, their quarterback, went 34 of 47, threw for 367 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Shadir Sanders, he went 38 of 47, threw for 348 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, when it comes to Colorado and what's going on right now with Deion in Colorado, first and foremost, when it comes to this game specifically, I feel like that this was the type of game that Colorado needed, because in their first 2 games, I never really felt like Colorado felt threatened. When they played TCU in week 1, I thought they had control majority of that game. Now, that game went back and forth, but I felt like they had control of the game. And then even in week 2 against Nebraska, I felt like they had control majority of that game as well. But they faced some adversity in this matchup against Colorado State. At the half, they were trailing by 7 points. And when they got the ball on their final possession in regulation, they were also down by 8. And I feel like that's when Shadir Sanders had a Heisman moment. He took the Colorado Buffaloes on a 7-play, 98-yard drive in the final minutes, and then tied the game up with a 2-point conversion to get the game to overtime. I feel like it was a Heisman moment for Shadir Sanders. Shadir, I hope I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying your name right, Shadir. I hope I am. I hope I'm saying it right. I'm going to just say Sanders, because that's the easier way to say it. Just say the last name. I feel like Sanders had a Heisman moment with that drive. He put the Colorado Buffaloes on his back. They don't win that game Saturday night if they don't have Sanders as their quarterback. And I have my questions about Sanders coming into the season, because he played at Jackson State last year and he balled out at Jackson State. But you're in Division I, and I want to see how he's going to adjust to the competition at the Division I level. And man, has he adjusted. I feel like through the first 3 games of the college football season, Shadir Sanders is the Heisman Trophy leader right now. And he had a Heisman moment on that final possession for the Colorado Buffaloes in regulation, because they had to go 98 yards. That drive started at their 2-yard line. They were pinned deep. And I'm thinking, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome this. And Sanders put together a 7-play, 98-yard drive. And then they capitalized on the 2-point conversion that got the game to overtime. Because even if you have that 98-yard drive, if you don't convert on the 2-point conversion, the game's over. But what the performance that he had was sensational. And I feel like what Deion is currently doing right now in Boulder is different. It's different. And it's something that people aren't used to. Deion's style is different than Nick Saban's. It's different than a Kirby Smart. Deion's not the kind of coach that's going to yell at you if you make a mistake. Deion's going to tell you he loves you and motivates you to go out there and redeem yourself and tell you that he believes in you on the next drive or the next possession when you're on the field. Deion believes in his players. And I love the fact that he's able to connect with his players in a way that other coaches at the collegiate level can't connect with their players. Like Deion can connect with his players in a way that other coaches cannot do. He's able to connect with the younger generation. You see at the game, you see Key Glock at the game. You see Offset at the game, Lil Wayne at the game. You see at the beginning of the game, Deion comes out with Lil Wayne, and that's his entrance into the game. It was amazing to see. And I love the whole the locker room speeches that he gives pregame and postgame. You see him always talking about turn on my theme music. I love it. I love it. And I feel like we have to understand that this is something that we have to get used to. He's about to get comfortable, as he said. He's definitely about to get comfortable. Now, I do believe that they have to go out and recruit some offensive linemen and defensive linemen, because defensively, they don't really get much pressure on opposing teams' quarterbacks. And offensively, you want to be able to have some protection for your quarterbacks moving forward, because it won't be Sanders. Sanders is going to the NFL. He'll be a top 10 draft pick next year in the draft. So he's going to have to develop a new quarterback. But you have to have someone who could protect his quarterback. So I think he has to beef up that offensive line and go out and get some defensive linemen who can apply pressure on opposing teams' quarterbacks. But the way that he's able to resonate with these young college athletes is something that we have to give him credit for. And I love that he's himself. Deion is himself, and he don't apologize for it. He doesn't apologize for it. And I just think that when you see, even in the post-game press conference, they asked him about Norvell, the head coach for the Colorado State football team. And he even gave him credit and said, man, I ain't got nothing against him. I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. Took the high road. I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. I love that, man. I love that. And this was a battle. Even though I thought Norvell's comments were out of line, it motivated his football team, because Colorado State showed up Saturday night. Ain't no mistake about it. They showed up. Now, I also felt like Colorado State played dirty. They played dirty. They purposely injured Travis Hunter, if you ask me. And it's unfortunate, because Travis Hunter is probably going to be out for the next 3 weeks. And 2 out of the next 3 weeks, the Colorado has Oregon, and they got USC. And I think those are 2 games that they need Travis Hunter to play in order to have a chance to win those games. But they were definitely playing dirty. Colorado State were. And I feel like when you, in sports, everyone knows this. As I played football in high school, whenever a team knows that they don't have the talent that the other team has on the other side, one of the ways to be able to stay competitive in a game is to play dirty. And I thought they played dirty, especially in that first half of that football game, for sure. But Deion's doing big things with the Colorado Buffaloes football program, and it's only going to get better from here. It's only going to get better from here. Everybody go